What's up, you guys? It's Truth Tiger here. And I'm going to talk about how narcissists are constantly trying to invent flaws in you. This is a very core tool they use to gaslight you. This is a very core tool that they use to break down your self-esteem. And this is a very core tool they use to just get you doubting yourself and questioning yourself and all kinds of stuff. Like, I know for me, when I was a kid, I was a very awkward kid. I was kind of kind of socially awkward, spaced out, whatever. So the narcs would really jump on me and try to make it like I had some big, huge personality flaw or some big, huge issue, or I was so weird, or I was so this, and I was just, a normal kid, a normal person. But yeah, they were really trying to construe it as if I had some sort of a deep issue or a deep problem or, something like that. And I could think of another time, like when I was, kind of dating around with this girl a little bit, and I told her about how some relationships didn't work in the past. And then she's like, "You're bad, you're the problem, you're so terrible." But I'm like, whoa, well, where are you getting that from, and she just kind of pulled that out of nowhere, because that's what the narcs do. When I was involved in the church, there was a spiritual narcissist who, "You're a sinner, or you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong." And yeah, and narcissists at work that are like looking over every little thing I do with a magnifying glass to try to find some flaw or some problem or some way they can, point the finger. It's like you're being pulled over by the cops or something. They're trying to, like, looking through your car, like, we're trying to find something. But this is your everyday life. These are the people who are supposed to be your friends. These are the people who are supposed to be your supporters. These are the people, sorry, I'm going to scratch my nose here. These are the people who are supposed to be, your wife, your husband, your whatever, and your parents, your relatives, your siblings. And they're using that as some way to just, like, find some issue with you. And this is a very insidious, gross, and disgusting form of gaslighting. The core cause of it is to make you just question yourself like crazy. And the core cause of it is to make you think that you have some huge, deep-seated issue. Like, even health issues I've had. Like, I got all these stomach aches and stuff like that. And they're trying to say it's some kind of moral failing on my part, or something like I'm a bad person because I have, like, a medical issue or something. They really try to, I'm really trying to think of how to even describe it, but it's just like they try to use it as some way of, like, superiority or something. It's very weird. It's a very kind of, I guess, social Darwinist kind of thing, which a lot of these people are. Social Darwinism is just kind of like the strong will dominate the weak, the healthy will, dominate the sick, the intelligent will dominate the less intelligent. It's just like a crappy narcissistic kind of ideology that's very prevalent in the world. But it's like, well, you have a health issue, you're bad. It's like, what are you talking about? So yeah, there's no compassion whatsoever with these narcs. And they're really trying to make you just like, they're really trying to just make you into the worst person possible. And these flaws they invent, they could be moral flaws, or it could be like, a narcissistic wife, like, "You're wearing that," to like her husband or something like that, just really making a big deal over nothing. It could come from a lot of places. I know as like a little kid, if I ever got like a C or a C minus, not the best grade, my parents would act like it was the worst thing in the world. And you just know they're always looking at you and just looking down on you in just a weird way. And they have their magnifying glass out, and they're just desperately looking to find some kind of a flaw in you that you can that you can kind of latch onto. Yeah, another example I could think about, I had a hater in my comment section, and she's sort of saying, like, "You're not a documented professional, blah, 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 blah." And it's like, yeah, of course not. Do I have a degree on my wall behind me? Am I, do I have like a private practice, and I'm like, or work for some therapy place and I'm saying I'm a licensed therapist? Like, heck no. I'm some dude in a car who has a lot of wisdom and insight and can help people out, but they try to sort of invent some sort of issue or some sort of flaw. Actually, the same lady was also making fun of my mannerisms. Like, I guess she was saying I said yeah a lot or something. I don't really remember it exactly, but they'll try to find any little way to get you. Like I remember when I was in high school, there'd be some kids that would try to make fun of my mannerisms or make fun of the tone of my voice or just any little way, any little thing, anything they can find, they will they will do, And I really like to think of like an old married couple that fight all the time, and and she's like, Harold, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to do this? And he's like, shut up, Sheila, you're always this. It's just like it's both of those kinds of things where it's just like there's some kind of thing, and if you bring up anything, you're always complaining, you're always there. Like, well, I'm not. Like, I'm raising a legitimate concern, and then you're yelling at me and accusing me and being like, you're always complaining, And anytime you try to bring anything up, or you try to have that like heart to heart, eye to eye, like serious conversation about whether we can keep this relationship, or you're having serious issues, then they gaslight more, and you're a bad person. And if, let's say, you have a job, you don't make the most money, then all of a sudden that's some big huge issue. You don't make money, and blah, 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 and anything they can. Or if you have a good job and you make a lot of money but you work too much, and it's just, it could be anything. If they don't like your friends, you just hang out with all these weird people. If you're introverted, you don't have a lot of friends, you don't have any friends, you blah 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 blah. And it's whatever you do, it's wrong somehow. It's some kind of a flaw. It's bad. Like, I could think of, if you're really physically fit, oh, you just want to lift those weights all the time, and you just want to be a little Ken doll, and blah, 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 blah. And if you're in bad shape, then you're in bad shape, you're unhealthy, blah, 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 blah. There's no winning with this, with the way they invent flaws. And a lot of times how they can do it is like kind of sneaky and insidious, and is more like, if they're more subtle and kind of smart about it, they might try to like bring it up in a way where, like, I care a lot about you, and I see you have this issue, and I really want to help you resolve it. If they're more covert, they will try to act like they're this angel who's on, I'm just trying to help. I'm just giving you a little suggestion, when they know that that suggestion was like something that was going to bother you, like, if, let's say, you had a bad breakup, you don't even want to hear your ex's name, then they'll say, well, I know why things with you and so didn't work out. They'll do stuff like that where you're just like, man, like, you're bringing up the worst possible thing at the worst possible time. Or if you got a bad relationship with your dad or your mom or something, and it's like, well, I know you and your father have difficulties, and I know it's tough, but I can see why he had a very hard time with you, and they just do this kind of stuff. I'm going to scratch my nose again. My nose is itching for some reason, but yeah, they do any of this kind of stuff to just make you feel very flawed and very bad about yourself. And, even little things, like if you show up late for something here and there, they're like, you could have showed up on time. And like, they really are watching you with binoculars, like the stalker, gang stalker, creepy piles of garbage that they are. And that's what they are. They are garbage. They are piles of garbage, and they have no sense of themselves. And it's why they do this stuff, because they are not individuated in any sense or capacity. So if they're not individuated, just tear down someone who is individuated. That's what they that's what they do. Yeah, and I mean, in terms of this, like, it can get so bad to where they will try to make you think you have some kind of mental health issue. That's a separate video, but I will touch on this a little bit in this video because it does relate to it. And I've dealt with some narcissists. It's kind of a family personal situation. I don't want to get too into the details, but I called out a certain family member for just being kind of weird with me. And then this certain family member is like telling me I made things up and I hallucinated things. And Not a good attempt to do that on their part, but they will attempt to do that, and they will attempt to like try to really make you think you are legit crazy if it gets bad. And I will make a separate video on that, but they will try to really genuinely make you think you are insane. And with the criticism and the gaslighting, you can legitimately be driven kind of crazy by it. So again, separate video, but it does relate to this inventing flaws, because there is they do have to invent flaws in order to kind of make you think that you are have certain issues you don't even have, so yeah. Yeah, everybody, I just want to wish you well in dealing with these narcissists, and I want to say that, like, the flaws they're inventing in you, or the flaws they're exaggerating, or the way they're trying to make you be, it's not the truth. Like, my dad would always say this thing to me that I'm going to end up in jail, and I'm going to be in prison, and all this kind of stuff, and I was always like, I obey the law, I've never even gotten a DUI or anything like that. Like, I'm pretty good at following the laws. I'm not going to say I'm perfect in that, but I'm like a law-abiding citizen, pay my taxes, whatever, just stay to myself, do the right stuff. So I don't know why he's always saying that about me, but it's like he's trying to implant this idea in my head that I'm this bad person, because he's, jealous and weird and stuff like that, and I just remember he's wearing a little jewelry, wearing a little chain. He's, oh, so you're one of those guys, huh? Like, you're wearing that. You're doing, oh, okay. Just weird stuff like that. And then, there's stuff with coworkers where I would do something, and then they would all of a sudden find all these problems with it and demand we do something else. And I'm trying to tell management, like, it's obvious what's happening here, that this person does not have any ideas of their own. They don't have any things they want to do of their own. I've done something successful, and now they're trying to tear it down, but unfortunately it is a narcissistic world we live in, and these narcissistic systems are everywhere. So, yeah, it's kind of slow and for that action to happen. And unfortunately, I've heard stories of the managers and whatever being narcissists too, and ganging up and getting someone fired, and that can happen, unfortunately. Yeah, but they're always trying to look for some type of flaw or problem, or anything you do. Like, I remember I would, I don't know, take some pictures on social media or something like that, and it wasn't like perfect stuff, but it was kind of cool stuff. And then some family members are like, oh, the composition's a little off, and it's like you're a professional photographer, and you're giving me this whole critique now, and it's just, yeah, and they're constantly trying to do that type of stuff. And I could think of the narcissistic husband with his wife, and the wife is always, she's crazy. And, there are some broads that are a little loopy and a little crazy. It exists, but, they're trying to gaslight and say, like, oh, she's crazy. Like, I've seen that one a lot, unfortunately. And this inventing flaw stuff is so damaging. It's terrible, y'all, and I want you guys to get out of these narcissistic situations, get away from these people, and get out, just get out. Yeah, God bless everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.